Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdom video. My name is Legend Ronnie and today we have Arms Master Lohar. I'm going to show you exactly what I use to get my rank 2, and I'm going to give you some tips and advices if you're a Cav player, an Archer player, if you just want to get a high rank in Arms Master Lohar. As you notice, I still have 4 daily chances left. It means that from the first try I've got my rank 2. If I try a couple more times, I can definitely get rank 1 or get a better score. But hey, I'm pretty happy with rank 2. As long as you are in top 10, you're going to get a pretty decent amount of rewards. And I believe that pretty much is what everyone is looking for. This is one of the advices that I want to give you before I'm going to go into commanders and everything else and show the equipment and so on. You want to charge up your main march. I use Guan Yu and Alexander with your Constantine and Joan of Arc. I usually do 5 charges of Joan of Arc, means that 5 cycles of Joan's skill, and when Constantine is doing his 6th skill, I'm gonna release my Guan Yu. This is the equipment that I used on Guan Yu. I went with the ancient stratagems for the extra troops capacity. Maybe it helped, maybe it didn't. My other options to go with was a 5% skill damage. Probably would have helped to take down the Lohar faster, but it's always about the troops that are left when you're doing the last Lohar, and that's how you can get the score or the highest score possible. So I thought that 6,000 troops might make a difference. This is the talent tree that I used for Lohar's arms training. This is my usual talent tree that I keep for Suns and Kenyan. There's nothing really special or particular in this talent tree. Could have gone with Naked Rage if you really want to build a talent tree special for Arms Master Lohar, but I think that is just too much resources that you spend for just trying to get a higher rank. Another viable option for infantry is most likely going with Alexander first and Charles Martel second. I know that shields doesn't stack, but for 2 seconds you have the shield of Alexander, and after that you have the shield of Charles Martel, and that will help you out absorb as much damage as possible, because if you use Constantine and John to charge up your march, the moment you're going to attack with Alexander, you're going to pop a shield. So you start without taking any damage, and after that you just pray for as much luck as possible to get the second skill from Alexander. This is pretty much how it is with Guan Yu and Alexander as well, because you have the 4th skill from Guan Yu and you have the 2nd skill from Alexander. This is just additional damage with chances or RNG. If you want better results, because I already told you and showed you how you can charge up your march with Constantine and Joan of Arc, you can also use more buffing marches. You can go ahead and use Mulan and Cleopatra as the 2nd buff march, and that way you get extra stats on your march, and obviously your performance will be improved. Now if you are a Cav player, a very viable option, how I got in some previous Arms Master Lohar a very good rank or rank 1, it was with Genghis Khan first and Alexander second, because you get nuking damage, so you start with a lot of nuking power, and then again RNG and luck from 2nd to none. After that you get the shield from Alexander. It means that you're gonna absorb the damage, and you pray for as much luck as possible to get the direct damage factor from Alexander. So Genghis and Alexander is also a very viable option for this event. But Guan Yu is also amazing because it's silenced for 3 seconds, which can give you some advantages on the later levels when you silence Lohar. I've also done decent scores with Minamoto and Double C if you have them, but to be honest, some of the latest commanders are much powerful and much better. If you are an Archer player, another option that I have tried with and also got pretty far was going with Edward and Alexander as a 2nd. It also worked. Or going with Edward and Ramses, it might work as well, or Edward and Tomiris. Not sure how much Edward and Tomiris, but any other options that you can do with Edward can also work. Just make sure that Edward is going to be fully charged. He needs a lot more rage than the others. So I said that you leave your Joan of Arc 5 times to charge if you go with Guan or Alex or any other march. But with Edward, you might have to leave her 7 times, so it will also take you a longer time. And then on the 8th buff, you just go on. As part of the personal buff, you want to make sure that you use a 5-10% attack and defense. You want to try to get a title if you can. You want to try to use a city skin as powerful as possible that will boost the march that you're using, either infantry, Cavs, or archers. Attack, defense, and health, just make sure to add some extra stats. Then you want to make sure you grab a rune as well. Attack, defense, I would recommend. Some people prefer health, but my recommendation would be attack and defense. These are the best options to go with to try to mitigate the damage that you take or just increase the damage that you do. Any kind of ways that you can empower or boost your stats, I highly recommend it to go for it and just try to add as much stats and power as possible. Also, if you can time your Lohar when your alliance is gonna do one of the buffs, preferably books and battles or when they do the counter offensive, so that way again you just stack more stats. Some other commanders very interesting that you might want to consider them is also Harald. I have advised someone to use Alexander and Harald, but right now he's not on a very high rank. I'm not sure if he used the charging up method to buff the march and charge up the rage bar of the march, but Harald has an amazing powerful skill. When his max skill, you have his 4 skill, which does instant damage with a 20% chance, and that's pretty high chances. So if you do, for example, an Alex and Harald, you start with a shield, and then you have Harald popping his primary skill, which is as equal as the 4 skill with a chance, and you have the second skill from Alexander. So if all these things pop in, you might be able to kill a march before it even does any damage to you, because you start with a shield from Alexander. But this is just in theory. I don't have Harald, so I cannot test that. Our rank 1 in the kingdom is with Alexander and Charles Martel. This is what I used on my previous Arms Master Lohar. I will probably try later on when we can do some alliance buff as well, so maybe tomorrow or the other day I will try Alexander with Charles Martel when we have alliance buffs. I'm also probably going to use 2 buffing marches, so I'm going to use Mulan and Cleopatra as well to get even more stats and more buffs on my march and see how that is going to work. If not, if I'm going to end up on rank 2 or top 10, I'm still pretty happy because I'll be able to get some rewards, so that's pretty good and solid for me. This is the sequence that I use. Like I mentioned, this was my first try and I got rank 2 from the first try. One recommendation that I can give you is that you want to go with the Iron Resolve, the last one. You don't want to give Rage to Lohar, because that's when he's going to start popping skill and that's when he's going to start hurting you down. Now if you use Guan and Alexander, there is something that I would recommend, and that is Ancestral Will. You want to put Ancestral Will towards the end. So any other skill that I have chosen, it didn't hurt me as much of the Ancestral Will. If I would have chose this one before the Iron Resolve, I think I would have finished Arms Master Lohar with a much better result, because your Guan Yu goes first, and that's a 2000 nuking power, and it's always being reduced by 50%. So from this one until the last one, there's probably 15-16 attacks or more that I always got my first skill from Guan Yu reduced by 50%. Any other buffs, they are really so insignificant how you choose them, but is this one, the Ancestral Will and the Iron Resolve, which I would choose them as the last ones. This one is so powerful, he's filling up his bar so fast, it's just unreal. I would definitely put Iron Resolve as the last one. I hope you find this video helpful. Until next time, this is your boy Geroni signing off. Peace out, yo, and take care. See you on the next one, and stay safe out there, my friends. If there is something that I missed, make sure you drop it in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to answer the best way I can.